What is going on, guys? It is Bellboy Brand Investments. We are back in New York, back in the home state. Last week we talked about doing something that will reward your future self. This week we're going to go ahead and talk about new beginnings. So this week we did take another L to the S&P 500. My portfolio was down 5.8%, and the S&P 500 was down 0.2%. So month to date is down 5%, and the year to date is up 53.5%. So for the agenda this week, we have the fin tip, we have the new purchase, we have the news, we have the free money. We're talking about some dividends, highs and lows of the portfolio, crypto, pick of the week, the pick of the weeks from last week, recapping them, the quote, and then the mindset to really kick us off into next week. So for the fin tip this week, I'm really talking about expanding your horizons. Again, new beginnings is the whole idea of what's going on. And ask people whether they're in this group or in your common friend group who have money or who have a portfolio, what's been working for them. Because for the most part, if you have time in the game, you have a couple strategies that have been working for you that have made you money in the long term. The second fin tip is just to read books. There's a lot of either audio books or physical books that people are reading these days that can help give you strategies in order for you to be able to take what you're currently doing and work one of these strategies into it in order for you to, again, make your money, make more money for you. And then the last thing is ask someone with that you value that has obtained X item, whatever X item may be. Ask them how it's benefited them, because a lot of times these physical items that people have, a lot of people either regret buying it or it hasn't done that much for them. So doesn't really make sense to buy it. So some people have like a sour taste in their mouth just from buying something, and you might be like, oh man, like he has that. It might not be that great for the person who actually has it. For news this week, Tesla and Elon Musk, he came out that they're going to have robots by next year. They're going to have prototypes. They're going to be running 5 miles an hour, lifting 40 pounds, and they're going to weigh 125 pounds. The fact that he has specifics on them just like that means that iRobot is right around the corner. And other big news, and I know I talk about Disney all the time, but I think Disney is going to be one of the tickets towards my future wealth. But in the box office, they absolutely crushed it again. And then the really smart idea they have, it's called Disney Genie and Genie Plus. But what they're doing is they're allowing admittance to their parks. You can kind of customize your entire journey, whether it's ordering food, reserving your spot in line for what avenue you're going to be taking, and then the Genie Plus is going to be like your fast pass version. So obviously you're going to have like your second class people that aren't really getting access to everything, and the people who pay a little more, they're going to be able to have that firsthand experience. So for them to digitalize and again move forward in this tech world, I think that that's something that makes them a great innovator, and again another reason why I'm going to obtain a lot of wealth because of it. Bank of America, they're giving a larger dividend than they did last year. And I also read a small article about what the banks are going to be doing involving in the crypto game. So that is twofold. The banks are going to grow and expand, as we called it in the last one when we were talking about Hayden. They're going to adapt, and some of them are going to be able to prosper because of it. And the other people are going to shut down. So Bank of America, by them adapting to crypto and by giving a larger dividend than last year, they're kind of just giving back to the people who already invested in them in the first place. And for earnings this week, we have another big week of earnings because earnings are coming up for quarterlies. Best Buy, Advanced Auto, Salesforce, Dick's Sporting Goods, Dell, Dollar General, and Dollar Tree. They all have earnings coming up this week. So if you're invested in any of those stocks, and those are all ones that are currently in my portfolio, we do have earnings this week, so that's pretty big. New purchase and diversity this week. I picked up quite a few things, and I have another big hoorah that we have for dollar cost averaging that I added to my portfolio that's going to be doing on a daily basis. I'll be putting away another dollar a day to Apple. So that's a big thing that I'm going to be adding. I have, I think, 6 things altogether now where I'm doing a dollar a day. It seems to massively be benefiting my portfolio. So MasterCard, Visa, Moderna, I put $5 in, Walmart, Target, and then Airbnb. All things I threw a little bit of money on because when we have this Lambda and this Delta variant coming on, that means more vaccines are going to be popping out. Moderna is going to be picking up a little bit again. I know I'm kicking myself, and I know Jack is too. We sold a little early on Moderna when we should have just held on. But when you take a win is a win. Like, you're never going to be upset with taking a win on money you put in. So you can't be too upset about it. But throwing a little bit of money back in because I see long-term growth. For free money this week, what Stash has given us this week was McDonald's and Bed Bath & Beyond. 2 great stocks I already had in my portfolio, but I'll be adding to those positions for free. If If you haven't had Stash yet, the link is right there in the description. And then dividends this week, stocks that paid me just for holding on to them. These are all big names that we've all heard of before. Costco, Caterpillar, Procter & Gamble, Colgate, and Hasbro. So those are all 5 big names, and they all pay you back just for holding on. And those companies aren't going anywhere. That's the reason why I have them in my portfolio. For highs and lows this week, not that many highs. You got pretty beat up this week, not going to lie. The highs, Alfie was up 25%, Lowe's was up 10%, and then Microsoft was up 4%. Flip side, lots of lows, not going to name them all. Boeing was down 8%, MPC was down 6%, Sunrun was down 9%, NEO was down 6.8%, Volkswagen, after having 2 great weeks, is down 8%. Gamble is down 11%, UAVS is down 16%, and then Alibaba is down 14%. So we had a lot of big losers this week. So I'm hoping for a big come up week this week. For crypto this week, we had a flat line for the most part because we had some downs, but then we had a couple things that did pretty well. So Bitcoin was up 3%, Ethereum was down 4%, ETC was down 2%. Not surprised to see some pullback from some of this because they shot off the last 2 weeks. Dogecoin was down 5%, and then Litecoin was down 2%. But our crypto winner for the week, correct me, Bitcoin is actually up 3% this week. My bad. But the crypto winner of the week and going back to back is Cardano ADA, up 17% this week. So they're making massive strides again, shooting for that $5 to $8 mark. Based on what that financial advisor that I rubbed well with, and he's a pretty well-respected guy. I could see ADA going pretty far. Pick of the week this week, I'm going to go with that increase on the dividend with Bank of America. They have a 61% return just this last year, and then their 5-year return is at 165%. So I've been pretty bearish with banks in the past, so this is going to be the first one that I'll be adding to my portfolio. So it'll be pretty interesting. Aside from Robinhood, I do have Robinhood in my portfolio. But it will be interesting to start to really get myself involved there. So I think it's a long-term hold. I don't think it's something I'm gonna try to trade, obviously, but I think I'll be able to get a good return on this one. Will it win for the pick of the week? I guess we'll see next week. For the recap of the pick of the weeks this week from last week, Walmart and Target. Walmart was up 1.3%, so we add a W to the calendar, and then Target was down 2.6%. So you can see how earnings calls will affect any type of stock going up or down. I think both of those are obvious winners when it comes down to it. They're both going to be here for a long time, and they're both going to keep adapting with everything that's going on, regardless of the political sphere. I'm at the quote of the week this week, and this one was really, really solid, and I was glad to be able to find it. And in the thought, in the mindset of new beginnings, the first step towards getting somewhere is to decide that you're not going to stay where you are, and that's by J.P. Morgan. First step towards getting somewhere is to decide you're not going to stay where you are. Whether that's right now, whether that's within the year, whether that's your life goal to be in 10 years, the first step is to say, hey, I want to be there and not where I am right now. I know right now I'm in a great position, but I always am going to want more, and I think if I can help and adapt and grow and continue to do what I'm doing right now, it'll only be best. So in the mindset of making the decision to grow and be better, I think that it's super important. So JP Morgan, the guy with a great quote there. For the mindset of the week this week, I'm going to have an open mind and just be ready to learn, try to absorb as much as I possibly can with starting at this new company. And I'm excited to make more money. I'm going to have to adapt and change my entire way of thinking about 401k and everything, but it's going to be really exciting. And for the final thought this week, first impressions are a big deal, and they oftentimes make lasting impressions. And on a daily basis, you encounter a lot of people that you're never going to see again. So that first impression is going to make a pretty big deal. So make sure that you're showing up as your best self tomorrow and for the whole week and really for the rest of your life, because you want to put that best foot forward on every single occasion, every time you're talking to somebody. Student Athlete Journey to Success is meeting at 8 p.m. on Tuesday, just like every other week. This week, we're talking about implementing healthy habits. So if you have some bad habits, you want to try to work them out, or if you have a great habit that you want to really share with the group, that would be absolutely awesome. In the comments, there's also going to be a Robinhood link. So if you haven't taken advantage of that free stock, you'll be able to just by clicking on there. Appreciate everyone for hopping on tonight. I'll be back next week to bring it back. Bellboy Brand Investments. I'll be posting it to the Instagram this week we'll be getting all the new cameras, new microphone, and everything rocking and rolling here shortly. But with the switch of the computers and the switch of the movement, we got to make do with what we got. But appreciate everyone for hopping in. We'll see you all next week.